Hello. Welcome to the Mother Daze podcast with a couple of snotties, Teresa and Sarah.
Oh my gosh. You guys, hi. Welcome to the Mother Daze. Yeah, I'm sick. You can hear it.
You can hear me too. I was just recording ads and I was like, ew, who's going to want to? I was like talking about food and stuff. And I'm like, ew, people are going to be like, she's filled with mucus. Like, why do I want to be thinking about food right now?
Oh my God. No.
It's so weird because, you know, I've been talking about having this cough since Poet's birthday party. I got sick the night of her birthday party. Guys, that was in April. That was like the beginning of April. And then I had this like lingering cough, but then I didn't have a stuffy nose. And then this morning I woke up and I was like, I am so congested. Is this going to go away? And I thought it was just morning congestion. But now I'm like, hang on. It's sort of sporadically been coming off. And no matter how much I'm doing, I have upped all my supplements. I have been literally having all my Love Well doses twice a day. I've been trying to be out getting vitamin D. I've been trying. My liquid intake has been through the roof. I'm also now chewing ice again, which is like my sign that I'm anemic, which happens to me every pregnancy. But
you're like, it's delicious.
I love
I'll
this
take
ice.
you to all the great ice spots around here.
Wait, I am sorry, but I'm obsessed. I love it. And I love a crushed ice. I don't like the big chunks of ice. I want it like little bits of crushed ice.
Oh, there's a spot nearby.
Oh my God. But yeah, so it's been funny. And then I was reading back on vlogs from other pregnancies, which by the way, thanks guys for all the love for the vlogs.
Oh, yeah.
But I read back and I was like, oh my God, this happens to me every time I'm pregnant. Yeah. I get sick and then, you know, because baby's taking everything and then your immune system's down. And every pregnancy, it's so annoying.
I wonder if your new sniffles though is a new cold.
I'm like, is this the new one coming round?
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, honestly, it really could be because if you didn't have a stuffy nose and now you do, but you've just had this lingering cough, you're probably got another cold.
I'm getting another one. Sarah, are we ever going to see each other? I feel like we're both so sick. We're meant to see each other on Friday. I'm like, but then are we just going to give each other? Are we just going to be giving each other stuff back and forth?
Oh my God. Well, we'll see. I'll have to test because I have had COVID. From Sunday. Today we were recording. It is Wednesday. I thought I was dying on Sunday.
Oh no, you did.
You know what's crazy? I have to tell you guys how this went down. So my husband and my daughter had COVID and theirs was really mild. So I was like, oh, this is not too, you know, Eric's was like, he had a significant fever. And he felt really bad, but they got over it quickly. So I was like, okay, maybe this is the new COVID. Like you get over it quickly,
the new
right?
strain. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, that's, you know, he was obviously very sick and he's like, when he's sick, he still works through and like, you know, he was on Zooms all day and he's like Superman. I'm like, lay down, watch a movie, you know, he's like still doing his thing in the office and whatever. And I'm just like, how do you do this? You know? And then Esme hers was mild. Hers was like a low grade fever and it was pretty like chill, but mine started on Sunday morning and I like had a sniffle, just like a little congestion. And I was like, it's just a little congestion. I'm fine. But because they had been sick, I was like, all right, I'll go ahead and test because Winter hasn't had it. And I tested positive. And so, you know, I was like, okay, I'm just going to like take it easy today, see how it goes. And a few hours later, I was like, but I feel great. Just a little congested.
And is that the day Eric left?
Yes. So Wyatt is on a 5th grade trip and Eric was going as a chaperone. And he was like, I don't think I should go. Like, you know, I was like, I feel fine. I'm just a little congested. And so I told him to, you know, still go. And then if worst case scenario, he could come back. Right. And so, they left and within a few hours, oh my gosh, you guys, within a few hours, I was so sick. It was crazy. It was like, it was not
so pregnant.
Not really the symptoms. It was more the I started to get a fever, and then my body was really tense and aching, and then I had rigors, which is like this thing that causes you to like shake really bad. And so I was like shaking, and anyway, and then when my fever would like go down, I would get the sweats, and I still have the sweats. I'm sweating through my bed, my clothes and everything like at night, which is nuts.
Like those postpartum sweats that you get, like that kind of real wet.
Yes, wet.
Oh,
like I wake up to go to the bathroom and I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm sweating, and I wipe my brow and my forehead is wet.
Whoa.
Yes. And so I'm drinking like coconut water. I'm drinking
electrolytes.
Absorb. Yeah. I'm drinking like regular water. I'm doing everything I can to like stay hydrated. But, you know, for a couple of days there, I like wasn't able to quench my thirst, you know. It was like, and then today's Wednesday, that was Sunday. That is relatively quickly. Like I feel so much better. I'm just very congested. I feel like tired and things, but like, you know, it was pretty fat. It was like came in ferocious and then like
hard and fast.
Yeah. But I mean, that was gnarly
because we were all meant to hang out today.
I'm so, you don't understand how bummed I am about that.
I know.
I was trying so hard to manifest myself back to normal health, to go to this like lunch. Frida Salvador opened their new store in Larchmont in LA. And I was so excited. I was going back. Some of our girlfriends, Rachel, Olivia, Teresa, like Nikki, Rumor, we were all going to get together and celebrate Frida and do like a lunch there. And our beautiful friends who created this amazing company. And I can't do it. And so we postponed it. And I'm so bummed. Like,
I know. I'm going to miss out.
Town for this tiny window. Tiny window. I was like, how is this happening? It wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to be.
I'll zoom in from afar. Probably still coughing.
I'm so bummed.
I know.
You'll be having a baby like the next time this party is probably happening. You'll be like, you'll be ready to like
pop. My Frida shoes arrived though. The courier came and I was like, bittersweet, but also free shoes.
I'll have to put our shoe. Okay, we'll have to put a post up of our shoes we were gonna wear to the lunch and be like, hey, we were sick. You're sick too. So we were both sick.
I literally brought, because I've been in New York for this wedding, and our friend Cass had organized all these dresses for me to be able to wear to the wedding. She reached out to a bunch of brands, and I chose 4 dresses to bring because I was like, oh, it just depends how I feel on the day.
Yeah.
And then she was like, oh, and another whole box of dresses is being shipped straight to New York. And I was like, oh my God. So this brand, Age or Age, I don't know how people pronounce it, Age.
Is it a pregnancy brand?
No, it's a really cool Australian designer.
I'm looking it up. How do you spell it?
Aje.
Aje.
And all the Aussies know this brand because it's very cool. And they sent me a box of like the most divine dresses, but it was actually under Cass's name. And I was like such an idiot and so like rushed in New York. I didn't think to ask under Cass's name. I kept being like, a package for Teresa. And they were like, no, there's nothing here. And I was like, oh no, damn
Tess. Oh my God.
I know. And so I was like, oh, okay. Well, anyway, these other 4 dresses are beautiful. I'll wear them. And then after the wedding, I was like, I'm just going to check again. Like it says it was delivered. And I was like, oh no. Could you try under Cassandra? And they're like, oh yes, that was weird. There was just this box here for someone who's like not staying at the hotel.
For weeks.
Yeah. And it's just been sitting here. And I was like, oh for fuck's sake. So then I opened this box and they are the most beautiful dresses. I definitely would have worn some of them to the wedding activities, but whatever. And then I was like, instead of shipping them back to Australia right now, what I'll do is I'll lug them in my luggage because I've got the Frida Salvador lunch and I'm going to wear one of them and I can dress it down with like the Frida Salvador like denim jacket that you sent me for my birthday. And I was like, perfect. And then so I brought them here and I was like, and now I don't need them. But that's okay. So Age will be getting their dresses back from LA.
Well, if you want, if we do get to see each other, maybe we could wear the dresses together.
That's a great idea. And our shoes, and we can walk down to the beach,
and we'll just stand like 6 feet apart
and be like, "I'm not going to get you sick. I'm not going to get you sick." Oh, by the way, how's Esme? You said then she threw up.
Yeah.
When it rains,
guys, it's been real. She was fine this morning, and then she ate breakfast, and then she headed off to go to school and was like, "I'm great." And then she got to school, and then she was like, "I don't feel so good."
Oh, God.
And then Sonia brought her back, and she was like, "I don't feel great." And she laid down and fell asleep immediately for 30 minutes, which is always the indicator that she's sick. And I was like,
"You're like, great.
Okay."
So it was the stomach flu.
Who knows? She's not thrown up again. She threw up that one time. She had like dairy and like a couple of other. The girl loves anything. And so she has some weird combinations sometimes. Like I would never mix fruit and dairy. I would not, there's like things that I just like wouldn't put together because it would make my stomach be weird. And so I was like,
she's adventurous.
She's whatever. And so I was like, "What did you eat this morning?" And she was like, "I ate a bean burrito." And I was like, "For breakfast?" Okay.
I freaking love her.
I know. She's like, "Lasagna. What else did you?" It's just like, she like not a traditional breakfast person. So, and she was like, "It was great. And now I don't feel good." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
You're like, cool. I do need that. Let's just add that to the list of things that I'm dealing with.
Let's hope it's just like a weird fluke thing.
So Sarah, by the time this comes out, you'll be a couple of weeks away from your guest date.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? How have these last few weeks of pregnancy been feeling apart from the COVID of it all? Are you feeling, because I'm already feeling really like I was walking around Target last night and I'm like, oh God,
Target,
I'm so tired. Yeah, I bought, because my face eats my eyebrows. It just wants to like eat them and they disintegrate into my skin. So I have no eyebrows. So I went and bought this very specific eyebrow dye kit.
Nice.
And
that.
Also my Sally Hansen Hard as Nails nail polish.
Did you already do it?
I haven't done it yet. No, this is just from
Your
yesterday.
eyebrows look great.
Well, because I didn't take my makeup off last night. Let's just be real. And this is penciled on from when I did my like press for my new TV show coming out.
Oh my gosh.
And
the new show looks so good.
Oh my God, Sarah, it's really good. It's so sweet.
Have you seen it?
I've seen three of the 4.
Oh, I want to see that. I want to see it. Can we watch it in America?
Yeah, you'll be able to.
Okay.
I don't know how yet. I'll have to find out, but you will.
Okay.
Anyway, so how are you feeling?
I will say that I was feeling a lot worse, like probably a month or 2 ago in terms of my body and everything. And
like the heaviness, the fatigue.
Yeah, it was a lot. And weirdly, like I've been feeling pretty great. Like
I wonder if it's the knowing that you're in the home stretch and this is,
I don't know. I guess like, there's a lot of stuff that was happening, like Eric and Wyatt were doing this 5th grade trip because I really wanted Eric to go with Wyatt, because he's in a new school and so they were going to do this trip. So they're like, that was happening. So I was like, okay, we have that that's happening. And then we have, I have my Frida event that I don't get to do now. And then, I have there's like a couple of things I was going to do next week and who knows. So there was all these like little things I had set up, until like the end. But body-wise, like physically, I don't know. Like I was really not feeling good in terms of just like, wow, things feel heavy.
My hips, my back,
yes. But my hips still hurt. That has not gone away. It is not consistent. It's just like when I'm sitting too long or if I'm sleeping at night, like I have to turn from one side to the other side all night long to relieve the pain. I have like a pain in my rib here. And then my hips hurt. So I have to like make sure I'm constantly moving. But besides being sick, otherwise, like I'm feeling really good. I think Sunday when I got sick, I like started to cry because I was like, I can't give birth like this. Like I don't want to give something I can't. I don't want to give birth with a fever and like being this sick because I just got worried that like, I don't know, like labor would start or like whatever. So I started like talking to the baby and I was like, please stay in there until, you know, I'm better, until dad gets home. Like
you should quarantine. Like maybe you should, once you hit 39 weeks, like just stay, hibernate, be in the house. Like you should just, the fact that you could get sick again leading up to labor. I've labored with a cold before and it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
It just sucks. You want to have the best environment. You should maybe like bunker down. Go back to COVID days and just like get that hazmat suit back out, dust it off, chuck it on.
I think that's a really good plan. Really, we have a school gala the day before I think I might go into labor.
Okay.
Which isn't great for hunkering down. So might have to skip that one. But I think that was kind of cool. I was like, I don't know. Is the reason why my body was feeling so heavy and stuff before was some of that like mental heaviness that was manifesting itself in my body because of like all the things that sort of led to this place. And then like we got settled and I started to relax a little bit. And then I was just like really feeling the like weight of everything. Mm-hmm. But then I don't know, all of a sudden, like the last few weeks, I felt really good and really like felt like I could go on walks and do my little like movements from the Gilligan's Guide and like, you know, stuff like that. So, and do little errands here and there. And, I went bowling for my friend's birthday at 9 months pregnant. I beat everyone.
I'm so not surprised. That is so you.
But it's kind of not. I mean,
oh my God, as if it's not. You are really good at it. And pickleball.
Well, I love stuff like that. But I will say that I bowled quite a few times during this pregnancy and I've not done well. And I went for my friend's birthday and
was everyone laughing?
Like we were all dying. Like I bowled a 136. It was like the best I've bowled. If anybody knows bowling, it was the best I've ever bowled in my life, which is probably not a great score for people who actually bowl all the time. But my very first like throwing the ball down the thing was a strike. My God. Was a strike. My third was a spare. No. Then I had a couple of like 8 pins, 9 pins, whatever. Then I had another strike again. Then we get to the end. And the end, you get to do it like 3 times if you have a strike on the first.
Yes.
I bowled a strike. I bowled a strike. And then I bowled a spare. And it was like crazy. I was like, what is happening?
Wow.
And every single person was like, what? This is
That's
nuts.
Really funny.
Yeah. It was a huge accomplishment for such a pregnant person.
I feel like that's not surprising to me for some reason because you're so like sweet and cute and then like you get on the like field and you like start playing the competitive game and then suddenly it's like beast mode locks in.
I know, but you know what? I didn't even feel competitive. I literally was just like nonchalant, like music was blaring. We were all dancing. It was really fun. And I would like walk up and just kind of like chuck it down the thing, and I would watch it and I'd be like, oh my God, that looks like it's going to be a strike. And it would like,
my God.
I'm not kidding. And then it would be a strike and I would turn around and everyone was like, ah, you know, and I was just like, what? This is crazy. Mind blown. So it was very fun to win bowling.
An accidental sport champion. I love it.
Against so many people.
Oh my God.
Really fun.
But that's like so baller. That's like pretty legendary.
It was like the next morning I was like, wait, guys, can you believe I won the bowling night? we were like everyone was sending around the picture of the board with my score on it. And they were all sending it to Eric because he wasn't there because he was homesick. And Eric was like, wait, what? You won the bowling night?
Oh my God. I freaking love it.
It was so great.
It's so good.
Oh dear.
Wow, yours sounds
like a smoker.
Mucusy.
Yes.
Mine's so dry.
I have to say though, this is kind of cool. And I was sort of texting you about this last night, but when I first got COVID on Sunday, I started to like, my body would want to cough, and it hurt so much I couldn't even cough. I would like start to cough, and it was like the gnarliest sounding thing. It was like it was almost like the way a whooping cough sounds, you know, like it was like
a wheezy.
And but like nothing moved. It was just a deep.
It wasn't productive.
Nothing happened. It was almost like a sharp pain in the chest when I would go to cough. And I was like, oh, this does not feel good. Like this feels scary. And maybe that's why my fever went so crazy. Maybe that's what was starting to happen.
But how wild that Winter had that crazy fever the week before.
With the shakes. With the shakes.
Right.
I know, but it wasn't COVID because I tested her. I mean, unless it was and it didn't show up at the right time. I don't know. So I started, my friend was telling me to use the red light therapy. And there's a few different ones. There's like Vital, there's Loombox. Like Nikki was telling me about Vital. Angie Fletcher was telling me about Loombox. And I have one called the Soluma. And so I put the light across my chest and started doing light therapy on my chest. Within an hour after the light therapy, I started to do the cough again, and I was so scared to like cough. And when I did, the pain was gone, and and there was like a movement, and I was like,
oh wow, it broke it up.
I was like, this is crazy. And so I was texting with this doctor about it, and he was like, put it on your back and do it on your chest. And he was like, and try to like break up, you know, what's happening
there.
And so I've been doing that. So my cough has actually transitioned so much to where it sounds really mucusy because it's like there's a lot of movement happening.
Wow.
Whereas before, like it was just so painful.
Oh no, that's awful.
Yeah.
I've had those before where it's just like, ow. Remember, didn't you pop something during your first? What was that? Was
two of my pregnancies, I have had coughing fits and popped a rib.
Jesus Christ.
I know. One was the higher up here rib with Wyatt.
Yeah.
And then when I gave birth to him, that happened. And then with Esme, one on the other side.
Jesus.
And, that wrapped around to my back. Oh, it's horrible.
Oh, the joys.
Oh, the joys. But, you know, we got somebody to get that back in, and we were good.
And then we were good.
Yeah.
Then it was smooth totally sailing.
Good. How about you? How are you feeling? Because you're like...
When this comes out, I'll be 25 weeks.
And did you ever get to talk about your 20-week scan?
I don't think I ever talked about it.
Let's hear it.
Well, I had to do it on my own because Mark was away. And in fact, I did it right after our Daisy Dream Circle. So we finished our Daisy Dream Circle and I raced to the hospital from there. And I did that overnight at a hotel room so that I'd be closer to the hospital. And it was fantastic. Like this is what's so weird. You know, guys, how like I've been, in the first trimester, I was really nervous because of my antibody stuff. And I was just like, oh gosh, if this baby doesn't make it, my antibodies will have jumped up significantly. And then next time round, it's going to be even harder for this baby. But everything just, I've been like living in these little increments in this pregnancy where it's like, all right, get to the NIPT test results. They were great. Get to the 16-week scan. That was great.
Yes.
And then, so this was my big 20-week scan where I was like, all right, this is go time. It's really important. It's your morphology scan. They measure everything. So if there's anything off, typically they find it in the 20-week scan. And I was like, oh God, I've got to go on my own. And I went in there. I was feeling pretty confident because I just feel so connected, and I just feel like this is meant to be. And so I wasn't nervous per se, but they do these particular things called MCA. If you have antibodies and you have this antigen and you have this isoimmunization, they do a specific brain scan on the baby. So they spend a lot more time on the blood flow. Because what can happen is the blood flow can be affected to the brain. Now, that sounds so serious, and in some cases we have this very rare one called the Duffy FYB, which actually doesn't cause that much issue. Not only is it extremely rare, and the woman at the Gold Coast University Hospital was like, whoa, I've only ever met one other patient with this one. Like, this one we never see.
Whoa.
So it's so rare. And then she was like, but it's also mild. This one it's the most mild one you can have. So yes, you have antibodies, but it's not nearly as bad as if you have, there are ones like Kel and, all the Rh negative stuff that people go through. There's so many that are a lot more, dangerous and serious than the one we have. So she went through and she looked at the blood flow, and it was as normal as every other baby she sees for a 20-week scan. And she usually, even like I think with Forest, Poet and Prairie, maybe not Forest, but Poet and Prairie, there's definitely a difference between a baby who is dealing with it and a baby that's not. And this time she could not see a difference. She was like, no, this is the normal number. The other babies that don't have it. So what she suggested was that maybe this baby, compared to the other babies, didn't get that same antigen that Mark has. So my body's not attacking it. She was like, it just seems normal. Like, I can't see any indication. Yes, you tested positive for the antibodies, but it's so low that it's barely registering.
And you have to keep track of is it called titers? Is that
titers, yeah.
And that number hasn't gone up.
No, it's still just at a 1. And at this stage with
Prairie,
huge. I know, with Prairie it was jumping up. I was at like
I remember
32. I was getting to what's called the critical level, which is why they wanted me to give birth by like 38, 39 weeks. And I gave birth on my 39-week day. So that was really awesome. And it actually meant that, because I thought I would have to be driving an hour every 4 weeks to be doing these MCA brain scans. And she was like, honestly, looking at where you're at now, like, I'm happy for you to do this just in Byron Bay with a regular OBGYN that does scanning. And if she sees anything different, then you can keep coming back here to the specialist. But right now, you're off the hook from having these like really consistent scans all the time. And there's a part of me that's like, oh my God, do I want to just be overly cautious and just drive the hour there and get the scans done? So I think what I'm going to do is I'll do the next scan in Byron Bay when I get back from this trip, and just see if there's any movement with it and if anything's changed. And if it's changed, then I'll go back to the specialist. But right now, I'm feeling so grateful that this baby isn't affected in any way by this thing that has brought me worry in the past.
And how's like the growth and everything?
little. It's not, it's like the exact same as Prairie right now.
Oh my God, I love it.
Which is in the 34th percentile.
Yeah.
My babies are sort of the opposite to Sarah's. Well, only my last couple of babies have been smaller. Then the other two were just average size.
Yeah.
But, other three. Jesus, I've got 5 kids. What am I talking about?
Yeah.
The other 3 were average. Poet was always like bigger in utero. But then she came out as my smallest baby of the 3 until Prairie, and Prairie was really little. She was only 6 pounds 7. So this baby's tracking closer to Prairie, which is funny because I'm a lot bigger than I was with Prairie. So I always think that indicates like, oh, I'm bigger, the baby will be bigger. But it's not. It's quite small. It's still the 34th percentile, which they're not worried about. It was pretty funny though, because I was like, hey, I'm not finding out the gender. And she was like, okay, cool. So I'm going to tell you when to look away. And I was like, all right, you just tell me. And I just kept thinking like, oh, should I just do a quick little sneaky peek? But she was like, okay, I'm about to look at the pelvic area. So you definitely have to turn away. So I turned away and I was like, just let me know. And she was like, okay, you can turn back. And then she was like, I'm going to look at the femur, turn away. So I turned away. But then there were a few other times when she had, and I don't know whether like I was looking, to be honest.
Yeah,
like I was definitely. I didn't look at the obvious moment.
Third leg.
Yeah, I was like, I had her make me turn away for the obvious ones, but then I was like, if by chance I see a penis while I'm looking at the screen for the rest of it, like, that's meant to be, you know? And so she went over different areas, and then I think I caught a potty shot, like, which is under the legs, like the butt and the legs coming out. And I was like, and then I said, was that a potty shot? But she sort of took it away so quickly, but I didn't see anything between the legs, which is very surprising to me because I am almost like 90% sure I'm having a boy.
Have you dreamt about a boy still?
Well, remember, I've had one of each.
That's right.
And then I was just like, oh, and that suddenly made me really confused because I was like, surely I would have seen something in that potty shot. And then she did another little sort of swipe over, and I was quickly like looking on the screen.
Yeah.
And I did not see anything dangling. But I also didn't see like the 3 lines of the vagina. So but I left being more confused.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Because I was like,
so
wait,
funny.
Could it be a girl? And I'm just like totally wrong.
Is your baby trying to like drop you any hints anywhere?
No.
Are you seeing anything?
I'm not seeing anything.
Okay,
apart from just
I was curious.
Well, the only thing that I will say is in the last week, at Phoebe's wedding, which was the most beautiful wedding, by the way. Oh my God, the Chanel dress, Sarah, the Chanel dress was so ridiculous.
I know.
Did you see the photos? Of course,
I was stalking it.
Oh
online.
My God, it was like the most. When she came out, I was like, oh, like sobbing. And then I had to get up in front of everyone at the church and do a reading after I'd been crying. And I had like black marks, like,
oh my God,
that was black.
That
so he was trying to take it off.
You're so cute.
Anyway.
I was just having a contraction, by the way, which is why I was wincing. Like a Braxton Hicks.
A little pinchy Braxton Hicks. I love that. So exciting. But anyway, I can't remember what I was saying. You were
talking about the baby giving hints.
Oh, hints. Yes. Phoebe's wedding. So then at the reception, Phoebe's mum was like, show me your hands. And so I like put my hands out and she was like, it's a boy. And I'm like, what?
Is her mom Russian? That's a Russian.
I was like, how do you know this?
Oh, that's a Russian thing.
Oh, she was like, I'm right every time.
I have to go to the bathroom. I'm sorry. I'm trying so hard to hold it.
And we will be taking a 10-second break, everyone. Guys, while we wait here, I'll tell you that I had yet another dream about Eminem last night. But in the dream, I was trying desperately to hook up with him and he wasn't having any part of it. And he had this young daughter who was in the same dance class as my daughter. And then I was like, I was like, hey, oh my God, what a coincidence. We're in the same dance class, which in the dream, I specifically joined the dance class so that Poet could be friends with his young daughter, which by the way, he doesn't have a young daughter anyway. And then I go to this like party, like I'm a hanger-onerer, and I go to this party and these like New York fashion elite models were like, you don't belong here. We know what you're doing. We know you're just trying to get with Eminem. And I was like, no, I'm whatever. No, I am a mum of so many. This isn't my scene. I'm not really in the party scene. And they kicked me out of the party because I was trying to hook up with Eminem. That was my dream last night. That was my pregnancy dream. Anyway, that was weird. Why am I dreaming about Eminem so much? It's really so strange. What else while Sarah's doing a wee or maybe even a poo? Maybe she's plopping away right now as we speak. I've been obsessed with Britney Spears dance videos on Instagram. So I go on and I watch her dance videos over and over. And I try and do the moves myself, which doesn't really work with my big belly. But God, wasn't she an amazing dancer? And then I see her Instagram now, and on her Instagram, it's all her just dancing. Anyway, she is a legend. I'm a big fan of hers. And what else? This is my second kombucha for the day. First one was passion fruit. Second one is ginger and lemon. Wow, Sarah is definitely taking her time there. Maybe she's doing a little bit of a diarrhea. There's my cough for you guys. What else? Imagine if I had to do these solos on my own. It'd be really boring. Oh, yeah, I was talking about what I will be talking about when Sarah gets back, is that so many people keep telling me I'm having a boy. Everyone. Like random strangers when they're like, are you finding out? And I say, no, I'm not finding out. And they're like, it's a boy. I'm like, cool, thank you so much. Let's just hope you're not a psychic and you haven't just blown the gender of my baby. But because so many people have been saying it's a boy, like everyone, all my friends, we know it's a boy. It's a boy. It's a boy. It feels so like set that it's a boy. If that baby comes out and there's a fanny, which is Australian for vagina, I will be very, very shocked. It will be a huge shock.
Did you see my message?
No.
Oh my God. I almost went number 2 in my pants.
Oh my God. I just said you were probably doing a diarrhea to everyone. I just decided to keep talking about this weird Eminem dream I had, and I moved on to Britney Spears Instagram.
Another one?
And then, yeah, anyway, so it's okay. I was like, imagine if I had to do a solo on my own without Sarah. This is how boring it would be. Anyway, I thought maybe that was a number 2.
Yeah, I don't remember how thick is a mucus plug.
Oh. Do you know what? I had this weird feeling. I was like, what if she comes back and she's like, guys, that was my water.
It wasn't my water. It was definitely not. But
plug looks like a big chunk of snot.
It's a chunk. Yeah.
A big chunk of snot. Yeah. Anyway, Sarah's back. Thank God you guys don't have to keep listening to me ramble on about all the random things I was just talking about.
Well, you were telling me about Phoebe. We were talking about Phoebe's gorgeous
Phoebe's
dress.
mom was like, you're having a boy. And then everyone is saying it. People look at the shape of my belly. It's a boy. So like, all my friends are like, you're definitely having a boy. Like everyone's like, it's a boy, it's a boy, it's a boy. So I was just saying that if this baby comes out with a vagina, I'll be like, but you're a boy, aren't you a boy? Is that a vagina? Or is there a penis tucked in there somewhere? You know, yesterday I was at storage, and this is the one downside I would say to not finding out. Is I was at storage, I was going through baby clothes. I already told Sarah what a nightmare my storage facility is in LA right now.
Yeah.
I thought we'd be there for an hour. We were there for 5 hours with the kids just sitting around. But luckily we found the toy boxes. So they were just going through all these toys. And of course, the girls found so many toys they just had to have and bring back to Australia. Please. Like Prairie was crying over like the jankiest, like half broken piece of toy that she found that needs to come back with us. We've already checked 8 bags in. We now will be checking 10 bags in because of the things that we found in storage. And of course, like I went to get all the newborn baby stuff. And there's this really weird particular, I think it must be milk stains, but there's a yellow staining on every single one of these newborn clothes.
I know. It's what it is.
It's milk stains, and it's so bad.
It's so bad.
That this morning, last night when I went to Target, I went and got like the dirtiest, grossest stain remover. I was like, fuck going natural with this shit. I'm going to go the most foul stain remover just to get the stains out, and then I can rewash it in like the organic nice stuff.
Yeah.
But so this morning, that's what I've been doing. I've been sitting with all these baby clothes, there's probably 100, and spraying them all and making piles for the wash. But the funny thing is like when I first had the boys, the little boys' clothes are like really such gender specific dude clothes. And then after I had boys and then I had girls, I went and did like really specific girly. And then I folded in a few more gender neutral clothes, like, you know, like yellows and creams and things like that. So I would say I only have 6 or 7 gender neutral outfits, and the rest are very like gender specific, which is fine. I mean, you can put a dress on a baby boy and whatever, but I was like, oh my God, I'm going to lug all the like truck blue, you know, like all the boy stuff, and I'm going to do all the pretty lacy girls dresses and the gender neutral. I guess I'm bringing them all back to Australia. And Mark's like, what's the plan here? And I was like, I guess what I might do is like have if it's a boy drawer, like with everything folded up, if it's a girl drawer, and then all the gender stuff, like gender neutral stuff. And I was like, that is the one freaking hard thing. Like if I just knew, I would like put all the girl stuff aside and be like, all right, that, you know, one day maybe if I have a girl in the future, if I have another baby, I'll use those and I can put them back in storage. So now I'm like just lugging way more baby clothes. I wish I just didn't. Like when I was younger having babies, I just like, I'd go to the boys section. I would go to the girls section. And I was at Target last night and I said to Mark, oh my God, it's still so like segregated by gender. It's so like boys area, girls area. I'm like, where are the like creams and the like cute little greens and the, it's just, why is it still like that? Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I think it depends on the brand, really. There's like a lot of brands out there. There's this brand, I don't know if you've heard of them, called Oso and Me, OSO and Me. Their stuff is so great and very gender neutral. Like the outfit, I think in the next episode that we do, I'm going to bring my hospital bag and show you what I'm taking to the hospital because it's already packed, sort of. But I'll show you the little like onesies and stuff because everything is like gender neutral.
And is it all new? Because you lost a lot of
everything. Yeah, I lost everything. I actually had a very small amount of things saved in Malibu at our trailer.
Thank God.
And I didn't know like even what was in there. I was like worried about, I was like, what is it going to be?
Which things are in there?
And it's more so, it's like a nice little bag of like 18 to 24 months.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I really didn't have anything from the baby stages. And I actually had a few friends drop off some hand-me-downs, which was so nice. And then I had some other friends who like sent me a few things. And then there's a couple companies like Oso and Me who I just love so much, and they sent me a couple of things, and their fabric is amazing. Things I miss are like, you know that brand Sapling Child?
Oh, Sapling Child.
So I had so many of those little like heart-bottomed pants.
Yes, I
Do you
remember.
Oh, I love
you
them
did. Both
so
of our babies
much.
used to crawl around in that. That's like so.
I know.
Makes you
and
so nostalgic.
Those are gone. And I did have this same outfit for Esme and then winter for the hospital, and that's gone too. So, but this is a whole new chapter. So
whole new chapter.
I do think it really depends on the brand. There's a lot of brands that do a lot of, like Summer and Storm is
I was
so
just going to say,
neutral.
Summer and Storm just sent me a package. Everything's gender neutral.
Yeah,
and the onesies
great.
I've been finding is all Summer and Storm, where I'm like, it's those really cool pastels, like the yellows and the and of all my favorite gender and neutral, what is going on?
I know, my brain too.
All my gender neutral favorites, the majority are Summer and Storm. So
good.
I think and there's also another label called Grown in Australia. I think it's an Australian label. They have these really cute ribbed like creams and browns. Ooh. And like it's so cute. And so I think I might just buy a few more things, because also it just depends if this staining can come out. They're sitting in the other room right now. They've been sitting there for hours with this spray on it.
I have to say, I started using the Koala Eco stain spray because they have like a whole new laundry line.
I know, I have that at home in Byron.
It works so good. It's like so much, like it's
so natural. It's so good.
Natural, but it works really well. But I feel like if you Googled it, there'd be a old wives
lemon juice.
Is that what they said? Lemon juice
and lemon juice. Or because I asked my stepmom, who can get stains out of literally anything.
Yeah.
And then she said a boiling hot washing machine. But she's like, you might want to make sure that they don't run. And I was like, these clothes are 11 years old, like 8 years old.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to run now. They've been washed so many times. She was like, so do the treatment, boiling hot washing machine, try again with lemon juice in the sun, another boiling hot, as hot as you can get. And I was like, because I always wash on cold.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah. So she was like, that's the way to get out the stains. I was like, okay.
Oh, that is, wow. Okay. That's a really good one. I know a lot of people like to use vinegar and stuff too. So
yes.
It's
baking soda.
Yeah, baking soda. Yeah, that's a really good one.
Scrubbing my little brush today.
Oh my gosh. Those yellow stains are like, they were so everywhere. Hardcore. Yeah.
Because it's like from the guts, like the baby's stomach juices. So it's like,
what's funny
really
is it's
hardcore.
Not there. It's not there like when they're in the newborn stage. And then once you pack them up and put it all away,
I know.
And go back later.
You go back and it's just
every single one of them. I know.
Because I'm like, I know I didn't put dirty clothes away.
I know.
They were washed.
It happens to me every time.
Oh my God.
Every single time.
Okay, thank God I'm not the only one. I'm like, ew, like I know I didn't put spit up clothes away. I definitely washed them.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys, we love you. That's the end of our episode today. You've been listening to the Mother Daze podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Woo woo.
Bye, Daisy.
Bye.